The Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana has increased its policy rate by 100 basis points, meaning the lending rate is now at 26%. Now, this is the second time the policy rate has been increased since June and the highest in a long while. Speaking at a news conference, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Kofi Wampah, said the move was influenced by attempts to control inflation, which was on the increase.
The inflation end of year, we expect that it will be above 17%, maybe the lower 17s. We are currently 17.4, and we think that the rate it will end the year between 17 and 17.4. So all these are fed into our target. So it's not only the Fed decision that is taken into consideration in arriving at this. All developments in the both domestic and external markets are taken into consideration. The tightening financial conditions, China, what is happening in China, and other emerging markets, and so on, they are all taken into consideration in arriving at this, as well as what, for example, when we did the last MPC, the projection is that we're going to have a lower inflation rate for October than what happened. So all those factors are taken into consideration in deriving the target of when we are able to do it. So
the action by the central bank is likely to influence the cost of lending in the country. This might lead to hikes in lending rates of commercial banks too. Assessment of current economic conditions, according to the Bank of Ghana, shows that though monetary policy remains tight, some additional tightening is required to re-anchor the displaced inflation expectations. This, together with the ongoing fiscal consolidation, is expected to break the high inflation inertia.
That in other words, the expenses are based on available revenue. So instead of spending more, because where are they going to spend from? The central bank financing is reduced, and so what they are doing is that coordinating more the expenditure with the revenue. So the further revenues are low, yes, that poses some stress, but then they have to deal with it, and that's what they are doing, dealing with those stress. But then with the resolution of the energy crisis and so on, we expect that to improve.
It adds that the risks to the inflation outlook are on the upside, with a likelihood of a further drift away from the medium-term target, hence its decision on the monetary policy rate.
Deputy Minister of Finance, Mona Kortey, insists measures adopted by government will soon reduce the public debt to appreciable levels. The assurance follows concerns that government debt management strategies are not working. Now, despite all the measures, the public debt has increased to 92 billion Ghana cedis as of September. Mona Kortey, however, says the figures could have been worse without some of these measures.
Well, we will need funds to continue to do the work that government has to do to deliver on projects and so forth. So we will need that additional 500 million at some point. But of course, we will be careful the terms upon which we do it and the cost of it. The last one that we did, although the price seemed high, we got a 15-year tenor. That in itself was a great achievement. So the price may not have been that great, but the tenor of 15 years was great. So for the next 500, we could do it either as a bond or another source of financing. So we are not fixed on any one particular way of doing it. In terms of interest rates, it's a matter of negotiations. This one was high, but we know that the interest rates in the US is coming from a very low level, so it's not as if it's shooting high up, but we'll be able to negotiate. Now, the sinking fund, which we have in place, which is a debt service reserve account, basically, it's an account where you voluntarily put money in there towards debt servicing. That alone gives a lot of confidence and comfort to lenders. And therefore, when you have such structures in place, they are able to give you loans at fairly reasonable prices, sometimes below market. So we are putting in all the structures to make sure that lenders gain confidence in our economy and what we are doing with respect to debt management, so we can get money at better rates.
Finance Minister Seth Terkper has pledged to ensure the Electoral Commission is adequately resourced to conduct the 2016 elections. The ministry, as a result, is in talks with the EC over its budgetary proposals. Now, those talks are between the EC, the Finance Ministry, and a special parliamentary committee. Finance Minister Seth Terkper disclosed this at a post-budget workshop for the Parliamentary Press Corps.
We see a successful elections as, a very important input or element in our economic management. If you don't have a stable, environment, no investor will come. And therefore, it's important, that, Ministry of Finance plays its role. In this regard, we are working with the Special Committee in Parliament, and the Ministry of Finance and Electoral Commission. It's a public cost. And so these three are looking at, the costs, what can be saved, and whatever. That is the oversight role of Parliament. And we joined recently in a discussion. So as we said, in the budget, we will do our best, despite the setbacks that the economy is going through, to try and, fund the elections.
That's it for Business here on News Desk. George Adojuni is standing by with sports.